All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. Salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Excuse me. Title of the lesson is various topics. Uh, 1:23:22, the turn up. And it's so much going on. All right. The words of the Lord are being fulfilled. All the things that he said are set to come to pass. All right. Let's start here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, and verse 10. Excuse me. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but water of the earth, and maketh it bring forth in bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. See, it's going to prosper. The words of the Lord Yahawashi are coming to pass. And it's so much going on, all right? It's so much going on right now that you gotta, try and fit it all in one lesson, all right? Now, I have a couple of videos queued up. Hey, Shalom out, Yahweh Shabbat. I have a couple of videos queued up that I want to get into, okay? Now, this first video is dealing with what? The price of meat on the rise, and they're saying that four companies control all the meat that's being produced, okay, and these certain shortages are causing them to raise the prices of meat. So let's play the video. The price of beef is up 20% from this time last year. Ground sirloin is more than $5 a pound. Why? Well, from the cost of packaging to the cost of growing feed, every part of the supply chain is more expensive. But President Biden also blames industry consolidation. We end up with an industry like the meat processing industry, where four big companies dominate the market. Those big four: Tyson, Cargill, JBS, and National Beef, who together control roughly 85% of all beef production in America, and saw their profits triple during the pandemic. Why isn't the market correcting itself? Consumer the ability to vote with their dollar. Of course, the pandemic raised prices in many industries. But in the meat industry, those effects were exacerbated by the lack of competition up and down the supply chain. The takeaway message should be clear: a concentrated food supply chain is a vulnerable food supply chain. Executives say the industry, hit hard by COVID and inflation, couldn't keep up with Americans consuming more meat during the pandemic. The present divide between live cattle and box beef prices is not the result of consolidated industry, lack of competition, or the cash market. Concentration of ownership in the meat processing industry is virtually unchanged over the past 30 years. And meat processors argue their size keeps meat affordable. When you have large players who can operate at scale, it means we can help keep prices lower for consumers. Industry consolidation alone is concerning enough, but there is ample evidence that these companies have engaged in illegal practices to hike prices. In October, JBS agreed to pay over $110 million to settle price-fixing allegations, and Tyson, which agreed to a $221 million price-fixing settlement, faces lawsuits from several major food sellers. But the Big Four maintain there is no collusion. Meanwhile, cattle ranchers like Scott Stone are getting only 39 cents for every dollar shoppers spend on beef.
Capitalism without competition isn't capitalism, it's exploitation. Jake Ward, NBC News, San Francisco.
Okay. And you see, this right here could lead to what? Famine. All right. The skyrocketing price in meat. Okay. Food shortages everywhere. No workers to process the meat. All right. This is the works of Yahawashi. His word is coming to pass. Things that he said aforetime. Right. Matter of fact, this is the book of Matthew, because our Lord Yahawashi told us these things. Okay. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Right? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. We're witnessing it. All right, these false prophets, all right, just winging it, breaking down Revelations 9, all wrong, okay? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Hey, Ukraine and Russia, all right? Taiwan and China, right? It says, be and see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, see, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. See, it's just the beginning. All right, but Yahawashi laid it out. Those certain signs to look for. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat. Those certain signs to look for. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I got that precept on deck. See, that's the spirit, though. Okay? The words of the Lord, Yahweh shall coming to pass. And those who have eyesight to see, all right, who's able to uh, look ahead and see all these signs coming to pass, guess what? It's a blessing. All right? Back in Matthew, Salakia. Back in Matthew chapter 24, and I'm going to read verse 8 again. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Now I want to play another video. Okay. Bear with me. I'm on the backup page. Lord willing, I share my. I've opened up another page too. You know, my main page is on a 2-week strike. You know, the conditions of the battle, the devil. All right. Now, as we all know, you know that Teddy Roosevelt statue has been removed. So let's play a little short video regarding it.
New this morning, a controversial statue of former President Teddy Roosevelt has been removed from his former perch outside the American Museum of Natural History. Crews dismantled it in separate pieces early this morning, hoisting those parts of the statue high in the air. It portrays Roosevelt atop a horse, flanked by a Native American man and an African man on foot. The statue will soon be shipped to the new Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in North Dakota.
And that's something I noticed then. They ain't just destroy the statue; they moving it to a location where it's not publicly viewed. All right, his own museum. All right, in what it said, North Dakota. Okay, so it's nothing more than this devil being shamed. All right, we've seen certain statues being removed all around the country because this devil is trying to hide the evidence of what he's done. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. For the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. That's what you witness. This is shameful to them, man. All right? And it was a symbolism of their power, of them conquering us, just like the Ark of Titus, okay? Where these devils actually put up various monuments around the world of our downfall, all right? And now they're trying to hide the evidence, but the Lord said, no, He's going to reveal all your secret things. You can't be able to hide yourself. Real quick, Jeremiah chapter 49, okay? And these are the signs playing out to let us know what time we in, right? Where I want to start? Yeah, let's start at verse 7. The point is in verse 10. This is Jeremiah 49 and 7 concerning Edom. See, that's the topic of discussion. This man's system, all right, this current age, this current world. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in teeming? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is there wisdom vanished? Yeah, the Lord has taken away the wisdom. They're being revealed daily. It says, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. See, it's the time that Yahawashi has set up to visit this devil, take away his wisdom, all right, expose all his ill dealings. It says, if grape gatherers come to thee, will they not leave some gleaning grapes? If these by night, will they not destroy till they have enough? Yeah, this damn devil, he don't leave anything, right? But I have made Esau bare. See, the Lord has taken away his wisdom. All right, all his rhetoric, all his ill plans that used to work, they're not working anymore. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not, and eventually he is not going to be on the planet Earth anymore. All right, the Lord is going to take this devil out. Okay. Now, I have a couple more videos, that I want to go through. I see you brothers are lighting it up. It's the brother. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey, it's so nice I had to come out twice. Brother Kazak Bun Yahawah. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper whereunto I sent it. See? Yeah, that's beautiful. The Lord is turning these curses back on our enemies. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. See? And that's what we're seeing play out, man. Yahweh Shai is fighting on our behalf because we don't have a standing army. All right. We don't have any power in our hands. All right. We depend on Yahweh Shai. Why? Because he's the ultimate man of war, as the scriptures say. All right. And that's what we're seeing occur. Seeing the siege of Babylon. That's a lesson. The siege of Babylon, America, Babylon the Great. Right? This is a brother in his likeness, Yasharallah, Obadiah 1 and 8. Shall not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Yeah, man. You had Biden who opened the port 24/7, but it doesn't matter if you have the port open 24/7. All right, if you don't have any truckers to actually pick up the goods. Okay, you got and I was gonna do a lesson about that. The LA trains, all right, those trains being raided, all right, causing more supply chains issue. Man, that's nothing more than the Lord doing a chess move. All right, see what else we got on the comment board. Oh, come, verse 9, right? It says, "And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be destroyed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau," yeah, beautiful, "may be cut off by slaughter." And that's a promise that the Lord says is going to happen. Like we see all these prophecies playing out now. Guess what? That's a prophecy that's going to play out. All right. After you serve your 1,000 years of slavery, hardcore slavery, you're going to be burned up. Right. Let's get a couple more before we go back. the brother Kazak Bun Yahawah, Revelation 6 and 4, and they went out another horse that was red. Yeah, this horse is what? Esau Edom. All right. Well, excuse me. This red represents Esau Edom. The horse represents power. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth and that they should kill one another. And that's the spirit, brother. As I got a video. All right. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right. And that's a beautiful segue. I got this video queued up of the next civil war. Shahaba Shah, man. Let's get to the video. That's beautiful. Because power was given him to take peace from the earth. And that's what he did. All right.
As we mark one.
Now, this video was ABC News. It says, we are closer to civil war than any other, excuse me, we are closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe. A political scientist uh, wrote a book and it's featured on ABC News Live. So let's play it. It's like a 6-minute video.
1 year since the January 6th insurrection, as we mark 1 year since the January 6th insurrection, we've been reflecting on what that day says about our country. Barbara F. Walter, a political science professor at the University of California, San Diego, and author of the new book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, has this chilling warning saying we are closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe. She spent her career studying civil conflicts in countries like Iran, Philippines, India, and Syria, and writes about parallels that she sees right here at home. Barbara.
But see, there's nothing more than the words of Yahweh Shah playing out. You know, the things that the Lord said aforetime are coming true. All right? Let's go back.
Barbara F. Walter joins us tonight. Thanks so much for doing so, Barbara.
My pleasure.
So you served on a CIA advisory panel called the Political Instability Task Force, which monitors countries around the world to predict which are most at risk of descending into.
Oh man, she served on a CIA. Let's rewind that. Task force, panel task force.
Instability Task Force, which monitors countries. Walter joins us tonight. Thanks so much for doing so, Barbara.
My pleasure.
So you served on a CIA advisory panel called the Political Instability Task Force, which monitors countries around the world to predict which are most at risk of descending into violence. Why did you decide to use those tools and expertise to look at the United States?
Well, first of all, the CIA is legally not allowed to look at the United States, so we never, ever discussed my country while I was...
Now, hold up. Real quick, she said the CIA is not allowed. Well, who's going to stop them? All right? Who's going to stop them? You know, the CIA has overthrown various countries, you know?
I was on that task force. And in fact, while I served, there was no reason to look at the United States. It's only over the last 5 years that it's become increasingly apparent that the two factors that we know.
Why is it all of a sudden increasingly over the last 5 years? Well, this truth has went forth. All right, and things are playing out just like we read the scripture at the beginning, Isaiah 55. The words of the Lord are taking hold to the planet Earth. All right, and things are playing out. Prophecies are, as the brothers plainly put it, popping off the pages, baby. You know?
Tend to emerge in the lead up to civil wars, no matter where they break out. It's only in the last 5 years.
Salakia, let's go back. Excuse me.
My country while I was on that task force. And in fact, while I served, there was no reason to look at the United States. It's only over the last 5 years that it's become increasingly apparent that the two factors that we know tend to emerge in the lead up to civil wars, no matter where they break out. It's only in the last 5 years that those two factors have been emerging here. So it's my own decision, knowing what I know, to apply it to the United States so that we can have warning of what we're beginning to see here.
When you saw January 6th unfolding, what were you thinking?
My immediate thought was
Slack. I gotta go back. I seen a sign, and I think it said Black Sharpies matter. Hold on.
my immediate thought was actually shock. Not that it was happening, but the impunity and almost the righteousness by which these individuals were going about a deeply illegal and possibly treasonous act. They were behaving as if they were doing nothing wrong. And in fact, now we know that they thought they were patriots. They thought they were taking back their country. They thought they were, quote unquote, defending the Constitution. And it was this righteousness, this sense that the country was theirs, as mostly white men, and that it was their duty to take it back. My secondary thought was actually relief. Those of us who study political instability and political violence we've known what's been happening behind the scenes. And the relief I felt after January 6th was that it was finally public. Americans could no longer ignore or deny that this cancer was growing in our country.
And you write that many on the far right are experiencing this loss of hope, leading some toward anger and violence. Can you explain that, and what, if anything?
Loss of hope, real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. And we're going to start at the top. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years grow nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of windows be dark, and yet no hope. All right, Esau, those curses are laying hold. He don't see any hope. He don't see any way out. So he got to resort to his blessing, which is the sword. The brother put it up. Revelation 6:4. All right, this civil war is going to happen. It's prophesied.
Anything can be done about it.
Yeah. So the United States is going through this dramatic transformation from a white majority country to what will be probably around 2045 a non-white majority country. And
see, this is what it's all about: power. And they feel they're losing the power. The chronological order: the Lord takes your wisdom, and then you lose your power, and that's what we're witnessing. All right, these guys are erring in every work thereof. Okay, and now they got to resort to the sword, and it's going to be more evident in the time we're coming into, when all hell break loose. That's why it's important to remember, all right, to seek the Lord while he may be found. Remember the Creator in our youth, all right, while the evil days come not.
And we will be the first white, country to go through this. And
All your ill dealings, all your massacres that you've done, and now, you feel like this is your country, and you stole it. Let me come back to me. Okay. You stole this country. All right. You persecute the children of Israel. And now your ill dealings are coming up before Yahawashi. And now you want to cry like a little baby. Oh, but that's what Esau do. He weep bitterly. He said, do you have any blessing for me, Father? Right? And Isaac, gave him the sword. Okay? And that sword is even manifesting to this day. Right? Let's go back to the video.
there's a subset of the white population here in the United States that is deeply, deeply, deeply threatened by this.
And she should know, because she's one of them. She says deeply, deeply, deeply threatened by this. Why? Because they know their kingdom is coming to an end. Right? Real quick. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. See? It's the Lord Yahawashi who's setting these things in action. All right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. See that wisdom? I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Why? Because they don't have any answers. All right? Their wisdom is being taken away. Let's go back.
Feels that this is not what America should be. And we know those of us who.
Whoa. This is not what America should be. Right? They want to go back to when they had us in chains, in slavery. All right? This is the lust of these damn Edomites, man. This is what they want.
Study civil wars elsewhere, we know who tends to start civil wars. It's not the poorest groups in society. It's not the immigrants. The people who tend to start civil wars are the groups that had once been dominant politically, but have either lost power or are in the process of losing power. They're the ones who then shift to a violence strategy to maintain control. So once dominant groups tend not to go down without a fight. And you also
See? Real quick, I gotta get it. Let's open up a new tab. Right? Revelation 12. You brothers know where I'm going. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. See? That's what she just said. The demographics are changing. They're dying by opioids. What happened to that? What happened to the opioid deaths? That thing hasn't ceased. And in fact, it has increased. Okay?
Also right that Americans across the political spectrum are becoming more accepting of violence. You cite survey data that 33% of Democrats and 36% of Republicans feel somewhat justified in using violence. In 2017, just 8% of Americans from both parties felt that way. How do you explain that shift?
People generally don't like to go to war if they don't have to. They prefer to.
Shalom, brother Azaria. Shalom, Yahawashi Shalom, brother.
Go to the ballot box. They prefer to convince their government to compromise in other ways. They shift to violence if they, A, believe the system no longer works for them. And that's what's happening now with the Republican Party. They know they represent a minority of Americans. But you also shift to violence if you feel that your government is no longer serving you and is ineffective. And so average Americans, both on the left and the right, are increasingly seeing that the government is paralyzed and not serving them. And this leads to disillusionment. And for the more extreme elements, it begins to convince them that perhaps violent methods are the only means to change.
And lastly, the title of your book, of course, is How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them. Let's address the second part of that title. In a nutshell, what can we do?
Real quick. She says how to stop them. Well, you're not going to stop the words of Yahawashi from coming to pass, no matter what you do. Now let's continue with the video.
To really take the temperature down at this point, to move toward a more civil society and away from violence.
Yeah. Well, you have to worry about this middle zone of anocracy, which is quite unstable and can be quite violent. The second thing is regulate social media.
Regulate social media. Now, who is that targeting? Now, we know how Esau does. He'll target his own people to sweep up the whole thing. You know, he really want to get, the truth. All right, which is being on display on social media.
Quite violent. The second thing is regulate social media. Social media has had a really deleterious effect in terms of the decline of our democracy, rising ethnic nationalism and hate.
Whoa. Rising ethnic nationalism and hate. Come on, man. Come on. It says rising ethnic nationalism and hate. You see? And who is that targeting? All right, it's targeting the truth. Let's go back. All right, we are not ignorant to your devices.
Rising extremism, the ease by which militias conform.
Whoa.
Nationalism and hate, rising extremism, the ease by which rising ethnic nationalism and hate, rising extremism, the ease by which militias conform. That would be one easy way to tamp down the temperature. And the third, of course, is to strengthen our democracy. There's a whole series of really undemocratic features of our democracy: the filibuster, gerrymandering, money in politics, the electoral college. Make our democracy even stronger, more democratic, and we're going to avoid a civil war.
Make our democracy great again, right? It sounds like it is good news, I should say, to hear the things that we can do to reverse course here.
Oh, Eve marked that as make the democracy great again, right? Taking that Trump slogan, "Make America Great Again," but that entails, that you're on a decline. All right, build back better. That lets you know they're on a decline. It's over, E.
Barbara F. Walter, we thank you so much for coming on. You can pick up her new book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, wherever books are sold.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch...
Nah, let's get past this damn ad. Yeah, man. Things are playing out. Things are happening. And that guy who wrote that stupid comment on El Pastor Taha, where he don't see the things playing out, well, you don't have any eyesight, right? Now, this video right here is about what? The eviction crisis looms, right? So these things haven't stopped, all right? It's evil and nothing but evil. Let's get that, all right? These things haven't stopped. Matter of fact, they just been put off for a little while, but they're going to continue to grow. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. See? An end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. See, it's already been pronounced. It's just waiting on you to get there. Behold, it is come. See? So it's just time playing out, prophecies being fulfilled. Okay, I'm not going to play this whole video for the interest of time. I just want to get a couple of points out of it. Look at Eve. Eve still proud, swinging her neck, stretched forth, right?
Civil court, Supreme Court, and criminal court. Because he's trying to force me out of my place. He's such an evil person. My apartment is only $100. He want to take that, my comfort zone, away from me.
Much of the country is currently experiencing bitter winter weather that includes snow and below freezing temperatures. Now, listen, you are one of those people. Imagine you're not toasty and warm at home watching my show right now, but rather one of the hundreds of thousands of people kicked out on the street.
Hey, that's the spirit. Didn't Yahawashi say, predict your flight not be in the winter?
Facing the end of rental assistance. And the last eviction moratorium in the country expires today. That is, of course, in New York. And to compound that difficulty, the country is still locked in the grip of a severe COVID surge that continues to devastate the economy. Joining me now to discuss this and more, Kal Halal.
Real quick, I just wanted to get that opening. This is the book of Second Ezra, because these are scourges, man. All these things, these calamities happening, these are scourges. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The prophet Ezra is asking that question. He's seeing this fearful vision, all right, of all hell breaking loose. Okay? It says the beginning of sorrows. We read that in Matthew. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Salakia. Be 1 second. All right, Salakia. Salakia. Let's go back. Because that's what we're seeing, man. Words of the Lord coming to pass. Things are moving. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evil. See, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. See, now I got this word anguish queued up.
Anguish.
It says severe mental or physical pain or suffering. See, that's what the Lord has prepared. Similar words: agony, pain, torment, torture, suffering, distress. These people are in distress. Hundreds of thousands face looming eviction as key protections set to lapse. See that? There's nothing more than the words of Yahawashi coming to pass. All right? Now, I did have a precept. Let me go ahead and get it. Regarding the Egyptian against the Egyptian, right? Or this civil war. Mark chapter 3 and verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but half an end. Salakia. You know what? I'm going to start at verse 24. It says, Mark 3 and 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, and this kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but half an end. See? It's the Lord Yahawashi doing that. All right, going back to that civil war that's set to pop off. Let's play a little bit more of this video.
Project director at the Eviction Lab at Princeton University. Carl, I'm so happy you were here. Well, in reading the papers and the reporting on this, your name and your work kept coming up repeatedly. You have been laser focused on this, so you're the ideal person to tell us when the eviction moratorium ended and as rental assistance ends across the country. What impact does that have on people at risk of losing their homes?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, as we watched the federal moratorium expire, all the city and state moratoriums expire, there's a very clear story. Evictions started going up in those cities. Now, we did not see some of the drastic spikes that some of the worst case scenarios predicted, but that's because there were still other instances of federal support, right? There was stimulus payments, there was extended unemployment insurance, there were the child tax credits, and there was $45 billion of emergency rental assistance. At this point in the pandemic, most of that aid has expired, and people are beginning to spend down the savings that, for once in their lives they were able to accumulate. And so, New York's moratorium lifting, like you said, in the middle of Omicron, when it's 13 degrees out, at the end of 2 years of unprecedented federal assistance, we really do expect to see a lot of eviction filings moving through the system now.
Take a listen to one man who lost his job because of COVID and what he's going through as we speak.
I lost my job due to COVID, and it was hard for me to get accepted to housing because the money situation, like the rent out here in Boston, is expensive to get an apartment. Even to get a room, it was expensive.
A lot of people don't understand that shelters, homeless shelters, are very dangerous sometimes for homeless people. There's not always a safety net to catch someone. And another interesting thing that you noted, there's a geographic element to this. This man was in Boston, but in the southeast corridor of the country, where there are a lot of Black residents, it's disproportionately higher when it comes to impacting Black folks who are facing eviction.
See that? You so-called Negro, Latinos, or Native Americans are getting the brunt of this. All right? Why? Because you don't want to repent. You don't want to come back to Yahawashi outside in spirit and in truth. So the Lord's got to punish you. We got to read this again. All right? These are scourges for you to pay attention to what's going on. It says, 2 Ezra 16 and 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. See? Set as scourges. Matter of fact, let's get this word scourge. All right? And Jake, they're going to get it when it's too late. All right? Scourge. It says, a whip used as an instrument of punishment. See? The Lord is whipping you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? For you to get right. A person or thing that causes great trouble or suffering. See that? He said, how about Rawchaa causing this great trouble or suffering? We just seen this guy. He said the rent is high. Even to get a room is high. And she just brought up, down here in the South that is disproportionately affecting you so-called Negroes. All right?
It's disproportionately higher when it comes to impacting Black folks who are facing eviction. Why the geographic difference? And I'm sure there are many reasons we could talk about why the race and ethnic difference, but we'll focus on the geography for now.
Sure. It is pretty true. Anywhere you look throughout the country, if you see a concentration of Black renters, there's going to be higher eviction rates.
Pay attention to his last name. Gershon son. It's a 1948.
Than where there's concentrations of white renters. That is because of...
What the fuck he got a smile on his face for talking about it?
Centuries of structural racism in this country. You have both lower incomes in Black neighborhoods as well as lower quality housing. Now, what you see in the Southeast, especially in the rural Southeast, are very high eviction rates in rural areas. That is relatively rare. In part, that's because most rural counties in the U.S. are very heavily white, and some are relatively prosperous. In the Southeast, you have majority Black counties, extremely low incomes, and a really high percentage of renters. And if you are a renter who needs assistance and you live in Atlanta or Detroit, there's lots of legal aid groups who might be able to help you. But there are groups doing great work in rural areas, but they're not as well resourced as in the major cities.
So take a listen to another person facing a dire situation, and then I'll ask you about it on the other side.
I live in South Williamsburg for over 50 years, especially sections like Greenpoint, where you have landlords who have 6 units and down, who have no piece of legislation to protect these tenants. They can come in and tell these tenants, well, I need your apartment for somebody else. In reality, we know it's for profit.
This is incredibly heartbreaking.
Keep in mind, you know who own those buildings. It's the 1948ers. All right, Amalekites. All right, still persecuting the children of Israel. For the interest of time, let's go to the next video. All right, more of what the Lord said to look for. Matter of fact, we'll let this ad play. I'm gonna get a precept before we watch the video. Okay. All right. This is the book of Second Ezra. Let's get this first. Yeah, let's go here. Use this tab. You know what? Let's just do this. We'll come back. Second Ezra chapter 9. Right? This is Second Ezra 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See? Let's watch this video.
Now to news in Canada, people in cities across the country and around the world have taken part in so-called freedom rallies. The rallies oppose COVID-19 measures and
uproars of the people. She said around the world now. Let's go back. And this article or video was done yesterday. Breaking news.
Turning now to news in Canada, people in cities across the country and around the world have taken part in so-called freedom rallies. The rallies oppose COVID-19 measures, and thousands turned out in Toronto despite the cold. Loretta Redicott reports.
In Toronto, thousands gathered outside the Ontario legislature. Speakers included politicians who've become known for opposing vaccine mandates, lockdowns, and mask requirements. For some here, a big issue is vaccines.
We can't discriminate and force people to take something against their will.
Everybody has a choice. I'm not going to tell people how to raise their kids. I just don't want anybody telling me how to raise mine.
Though in Toronto, 90% of those eligible have at least one dose. And the province's science table says people with 2 doses have an 80% lower chance of ending up in hospital than the unvaccinated.
This rally in Toronto is much bigger than others held recently. It's one of many protests being held in cities around the world.
That includes London. Healthcare staff opposed to vaccine mandates joined protesters. People also marched in Paris, upset with a new vaccine passport that starts next week. Back in Canada, in Fredericton, police got involved, taking 2 people into custody. In Ottawa, people marched near Parliament Hill.
I'm feeling frustrated, but also I just feel like we should have a choice. I think it's being divided too much.
Ontario is easing some restrictions at the end of the month, and while hospitalizations still remain high, some doctors are optimistic.
Omicron came through here like a freight train, went up fast, but it's also going down fast. People are getting out of the ICU much more than they did, for example, with Alpha and Delta. Hospitalization, the duration is less.
But there's also caution.
this is not the time to have a party with 49 of your closest friends. I think we need to be still a little bit careful, realize that when you're going to lift restrictions, they have to be very gradual.
All too slow for people here, some of whom have opposed lockdown measures for almost 2 years now. Lorenda Redicom, CBC News, Toronto.
Last November.
Salaki. We get this queued up. So, uproars of the people around the world. Okay? Witnessing prophecy play out on a very, very high level. All right? Words of the Lord, Yahawashi, coming to pass. Now, I do have 2 more videos that I want to play, and it's regarding trucker shortage in Canada. All right? You had, matter of fact, let's just play it. Hey, man, the Lord is not playing. And we're not going to, it's a 19-minute video. We're not going to play all of this. We're just going to get the highlights. I have one more. This will be the last video right here. So let's play it.
Last November, Canada and the U.S. announced that beginning this month, truck drivers crossing the border must be fully vaccinated or test and quarantine. But according to some industry voices, that could lead to major problems. With us now for that perspective, in Clinton, Ontario, Mike Millian, president of the Private Motor Truck Council of Canada. Hello, Mr. Millian.
Good evening. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much for being on the show. What are the current rules for unvaccinated Canadian truck drivers, and as of midnight tonight, for U.S. drivers as well?
Yes, there's 2 rules. The first one is coming into Canada. It's been in effect since last Saturday, January 15th. So any unvaccinated Canadian driver returning to Canada has to arrive with a PCR test within 72 hours, is allowed to deliver their load, and then they will have to quarantine for 14 days. An unvaccinated American driver will be turned around at the border and sent back. Effective midnight tonight, any non-American who is entering the U.S. by land who is unvaccinated will be turned around and sent back and will not be allowed entry into their country.
What do these new rules mean for your industry?
It's going to have a severe effect on our supply chain.
You see, he says it's going to have a severe effect on our supply chain. All right, there's nothing more than Yahawashi setting a siege on Babylon. All right, let's get this. And we got a couple more precepts, and then we're going to close it out. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Why? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hopeful works are fulfilled. Thus saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. How is the Lord speaking? Through the mouth of his prophets, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And that's why you're seeing these things play out. All right. Even in the land of Egypt. Then we cry out to Yahawashi by reason of our affliction, and the Lord heard us, and he sent us a man to deliver us. All right, Moses. But guess what? Those things are playing out again. All right, we're crying out to the Lord of hosts, and the Lord has set up men, all right, to instruct us, to give us the blueprint on how to come back to him, so we can be saved out of this captivity, man, this prison. All right, back in 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and verse 9. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them. See, we're in the beginning stages. We seeing those things play out. And receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Yeah, this Egypt is land of our captivity. All right. Just like we read in Isaiah 19, the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Right. It says, and I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. Who is that mighty hand? Yahawashi. And smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. See? So that's the chronological order. The Lord has now consumed this devil with the spirit of his mouth, all right, and eventually is going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming, all right. Let's close it out here. Hey, and the water for the precepts, the water for tuning in, okay. This is Ezekiel chapter 12, and a brother put this on the comment book, but I had it already, and that's the spirit. I had it already on deck, all right. This is Ezekiel chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 21. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. Yeah, these guys saying it's going to be peace, man. All right? You got these guys saying, just go get that thing so we can get back to normal. No, it's not going to be any peace. Evil and only evil, right? For I am the Lord, Yahawashi. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall not, it shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, saith the Lord power. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesied of times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power. And that's what we're witnessing. The words of Yahweh shall taking effect. All right, laying hold to the planet Earth. All right, and all hell is getting set to break loose. Okay, so we know what time we are in. You need to watch and be sober. All right, that's gonna be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honor to my teachers, the apostles, and elders, great millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. Salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Shalom, DTA, and a Bible Bob. Oh, Salakia. Let me share my backup page, my backup page. All right, that's my new channel that I have. Lord willing, you brothers can subscribe to it. And yeah, the water for tuning in. Yahawashi bless you and your family. Keep you in these days to come. All right, Shalom, DTA, and a Bible Bow soon.